Pull-ups are a common goal for most trainees. However, getting the first one can be very challenging. Today I have a tip to help you guys that have yet to get your first pull-up, get one. If you have already been able to do your first pull-up, this is still good for you. You'll be able to do more of them. Now, to do a pull-up, you need to have strong lats and strong biceps. Particularly, the start of the pull-up is very important to have strong biceps. Today we're going to do a Scott curl, also called a preacher curl, and I'll explain to you a little bit of science of why it's important to do that exercise in order to get your first pull-up. So come on in here. This here is the preacher curl or Scott curl, and as you notice, the example, the arm is all the way down at the bottom. This is the elbow, so that's going to be your range of motion on the way up. Now, on the Scott curl, it's only challenging, or at least significantly challenging, roughly from here and down. So this part of the range of motion, it's very important that you go all the way down, and two, you maximally recruit those muscle fibers from the very bottom with proper form. What tends to happen though is on there, people stop early. They'll stop around here or so because they're very weak down here. And if you can't go all the way down, mentally, you'll skip that part of the range of motion. Now, if you strengthen that bottom part of the Scott curl, it's very good carryover to your pull-up. So this is an example of someone hanging from a pull-up bar, their elbow's right there. To start the pull, you're going to use the same muscle group that you're using right here. So let's go through a real-life example of the two exercises. The Scott curl, it's important that you set the bench up properly. If you're here at Cave, I'm at a number 5, so you can use my height as a gauge for you. But what you're looking for either way, no matter where you're at training, is obviously your butt's on the seat. You sit up nice and tall. You want from your wrist to your elbow to your shoulder to be in a straight line. Now, if I was sitting too high, it would look something like this. You notice the shoulders are too high. Now, if the seat was lower, watch my hands. My hands are raising up because I'm sitting too low. So you want to be in a position where your arms are in a perfectly straight line and everything's on the pad. The elbow pits, so that little dip in your elbow is going to face forward. Look straight ahead. You're going to pull up quick, squeeze, and take your time going down. As I mentioned, like from here down is the most beneficial part of this exercise. So right there, it's hard, 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 and as I get up, it gets easier. Now you're still going to pull it all the way up, but just know that the resistance is maximum right through here, and that's where you need to make sure you're training through. So that's the Scott curl. Next is the pull-up. The stronger your Scott curl gets, the easier it's going to be to start the pull-up. The pull-up has two parts of the range of motion that are hard, the beginning and the end. Today, we're talking about the beginning of the pull-up, the start of the rep. Now, hopefully you can start to see some parallels between that exercise and this one. My arms are in a very similar position. My hands are too. So to start the movement, I need to bend my elbows, which again is the same thing we were just doing. So I'm going to start with elbow flexion using my biceps, and my lats and back are going to take over to get me to the top. So that there will be the neutral grip pull-up. To wrap it up, to get your first pull-up, you're definitely going to need to strengthen your biceps. Now, they have different exercises that you can do for them. This one in particular, the Scott curl, will really help you start the beginning of your pull-up. Other tips for your first pull-up: number 1, you got to work on body fat. Body fat is going to weigh you down literally, so you need to work on your strength to weight ratio so you don't have to pull up as much weight. Number 2, work on your back strength. So your lats, upper back, all those muscles need to be trained through pull downs, things of that nature. Number 3, biceps, strong elbow flexors. So there's all kinds of different grips, angles. Here at Cave, we train the biceps through a lot of different angles so you guys can get your first pull-up or additional pull-ups. And the last one I haven't talked about is grip strength. You have to be able to hold your body weight up there for the length of time you're doing your pull-ups. So you have weak grip, you're going to have trouble doing your first pull-up too. So upper back, biceps, and your grip, those are the 3 things you need to work on, and of course your diet. So if you have any more questions, reach out to me here at Cave, and that there is the Scott curl and how it benefits your first pull-up.